So we're thinking today about how God is our promise keeper, how he keeps the promises he makes. So I've got a bit of a game for us to play, and I need about 3 volunteers who are feeling slightly athletic. Right, if we can't, right, we need volunteers to play it, my friends. Will you come? Oh, David, you've been nominated. Yeah. Do you want to pick a flag? Pick a flag? Oh, David, you can be purple. Right. So, you're going to start here, and you're going to give me your biggest breath, and you're going to go, ah, for as long as you can, okay? Whilst running around the church, okay? And you can only use one breath. So the minute your breath runs out, you have to stop. And that's as far as you get, okay? And we're going to see who has the longest breath. Do you understand the rules?
Terrified me, so yes.
And to clockwise, that's my natural reaction. Right. Bobby, you're going to go first for me. Here's the microphone.
Really?
Yeah, and you have to wave your flag behind you.
Do I have to go first?
No? You think he'll be okay? Right, come stand here. Right. Are you ready, Bob? Take a big breath. And then round the pillars as far as you can on one breath.
Okay, well that won't take long, will it?
Round the pillars this way. Ready? Steady. Go. No, all the way, Bob! Bob! Well, now we won't know, will we? Bob! Oh, it's fine. Right. Stay there, Bob. Right, David, can you do better? And all the way around the pillars, because Bob didn't able. Ready? Big breath. Well, it's pretty big lungs here. Oh, he's lapped Bob. Oh no, is he going to make a full circuit? Okay, wow. Right.
Now you follow my energy, and I just
No, everyone's got to be able to hear it. It's got to be at least like a ah. Come on. See if you can make the full circuit. Would you like to use the microphone? No. Right, ready? Wave your flag behind you. Steady, big breath. Go. Can he make it? Can he make it? Keep going, go! Thank you so much, my volunteers. I think we have a clear winner. A loop and a quarter. Well done. Thanks, my friends. You can pop your flags down. You did great, Bob. I'm so thankful for you. God is our promise keeper. Psalm 23, verses 5 to 6 says, "You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever." Surely God's love and goodness will be with us. It's a promise. It's not a potentially or a maybe. It's a surely, it's a definite that God's promises are true, that he keeps them forever. That unlike my volunteers whose breath ran out and they couldn't make it forever, God's breath of promise never runs out on us. The promises God speaks in our life do not fail, they do not stop, they continue forever. They're not a piece of string that has a start and a finish, but they're a circle that has no end, that has no stopping point. Surely his goodness and love will be with me the rest of my life. Right, you know what's coming, don't you? We've been learning the actions to go with our psalm, haven't we? Yeah, and you all know them down to a T, and you've been practicing at home. Are you ready to learn the final verse? And then we're going to do it from the beginning. Are you feeling confident? Can you get the first verse for us? Okay. You prepare, so we go prepare. You prepare a meal, pretty easy, for me. And then we go in front of my enemies. This is enemies. Pinky's nail. You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing, now this is blessing, thumbs together, on my head. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me, we've had that one before, more than I can hold. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Do you think you've got it? No? From the just this one, we'll just do verse 5 and 6 again, okay? Why don't you say the words as you're doing it? I believe you can do this, John. You can speak and act. Ready? You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Should we do that one more time? And then we're going to do the whole of Psalm 23. Fear not, the words will be on the screen. Right, ready? You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Great. Are you feeling ready? Are you ready? No? Right. And then when we get to the end of that slide, go to the next one, right? Here's the whole of Psalm 23, guys. Are you ready? The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He gives me rest in green pastures. He leads me to calm waters. He gives me new strength for the good of his name. He leads me on paths that are right. Even if I walk through a dark valley, I will not be afraid, because you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Oh, give yourselves a really good round of applause. Do you think we can do it one more time, just to really cement it in? Yeah? Can you go back? You're on it, right. Ready? Biggest voice, most enthusiasm. Believe what we're saying. Guys, come on. We can do this. Ready? The Lord is my shepherd. I have everything I need. He gives me rest in green pastures. He leads me to calm waters. He gives me new strength for the good of his name. He leads me on paths that are right. Even if I walk through a dark valley, I will not be afraid, because you are with me. Your rod and your staff comfort me. You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Smashed it! Now, I hope you'll remember that forever. No, I'm joking, honestly. You probably spot that I don't remember it all, and I've been learning it a lot. You prepare a meal for me in front of my enemies. You pour oil of blessing on my head. You give me more than I can hold. Surely your goodness and love will be with me all my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. God is a promise keeper. Surely his goodness and love will be with us. He won't run out. He never stops loving us. He never breaks his promise. He is with us forever, and he promises so many good things, and they never run out. We're going to head into a time of some sung worship again. If you want to, you can sing. You could come get a flag to remember the promises God keeps. Or perhaps there's some pipe cleaners on the table. You want to take that straight line that has an end and a start, and you want to turn it into a circle. And as you do, you want to remember those promises that God has kept from the very beginning of your life. Those promises that never run out, that go on forever. I'm going to pray, and we'll head into some sung worship. God, thank you that you are our parent, our comforter, our guide, and that you keep those promises. Thank you that your promises are a circle that never run out, that your love and goodness has no end for us, that it is a sure and definite thing. Will you call to mind those promises you've kept in our life, those promises of goodness and love, so we can worship and give thanks for all the ways that you have kept your promises in our life. Amen.
I wondered, because we've been looking at this Psalm 23, if you could tell me if you have ever, I mean, when I say tell me, you could wave vaguely in my direction. Have you ever met a shepherd? Actually, met a shepherd? Yes, some people have really met a shepherd. And I don't mean just on TV watching one man and his dog, but you've actually met quite a few of you. Please compare notes afterwards, and we need to hear your stories about meeting shepherds. Shepherds care for their sheep, and it's lovely that this psalm begins with, "The Lord is my shepherd." And we've been learning, haven't we, how he was the kind of parent who provides. I'm going to have to check my notes for a minute. He was the protector, the one who comforts us when we're in trouble. He's the kind of pathway provider, the pathway pointer, the guide along our journey. And today, he's the promise keeper. Yesterday, I met a farmer. Doesn't quite count as a shepherd, but he was looking for a lost cow. We don't know if he ever found the lost cow. We don't know the end of the story. Let's hope he did. But he was determined to try and find his lost cow, and he wasn't embarrassed to ask us wandering walkers whether we'd seen a cow as we came along. Sadly, we hadn't. Anyway, can't tell you the end of the story, but it just reminded me of the shepherd caring for his sheep, looking out for the lost ones, and wanting to provide everything that's needed. When we come to think about God's promises, I wonder if you feel you can be sure of God's promises. I look out across the people sitting before me, and I think I know that many of you have relied on God's promises in the past. It's not always that easy for us as human beings, though, to put our trust in promises. We've been hearing politicians making promises this week. And God bless our Prime Minister, and please may he fulfill the promises that are really worthwhile hanging on to. But even parents can make promises that they can't always keep. Sometimes we make a promise and then we're not able to fulfill it. And I wonder if you've ever been in that situation where you think, oh, I promised, but now I can't do it. You might have promised someone you'd be there, and circumstances have happened, and you can't be there for them. My middle son had a nasty football accident involving his big brother, and broke his leg quite badly, his femur, this top bone, in a sort of spiral break. And he had to go into hospital, and he had to have a pin put through his bone, sorry for the graphic detail, and then have traction on it, a weight on the end, to pull it into position and to make sure that it's set straight. He was in a lot of pain, and he was 4. And yes, exactly. Oh, thank you for that. He'll appreciate that. It was really hard, and he was saying, why doesn't God take away the pain? And I wanted to say, oh, well, don't worry, I promise I'll make him take away the pain. Of course, I couldn't do that. And as parents, we might feel we'd like to make big promises, but we're careful and we're often cautious, aren't we, about making promises that we know we can't keep. I am one of those annoying people who, when I'm watching something on TV, I can't help but commentate. Sorry if you hate those sort of people. But anyway, I hate that sort of behavior. But quite often, I'm watching a drama, and maybe it's a bit of a cheesy saga sort of drama, and somebody, often a parent, says to a child, don't worry, I promise they won't hurt you. And I'm thinking to myself, you can't promise that. And I shout at TV, you can't promise that. Can't always make big promises, can we? And we shouldn't. Our God, though, does make big promises. Sometimes we have to understand them well. When he says, I will be with you forever, there may be times when we don't feel that he's with us. There may be times when we feel quite abandoned. We know Jesus himself on the cross felt like that, didn't he? He felt as though God had disappeared. And when we're going through the toughest times, through the darkest valley, we may feel as if God's not there. But this psalm we've been learning tells us that actually he is leading us through the darkest valley. We may feel that sometimes he is not caring for us in the way we want. Sometimes we think God should forgive us. I've done a bad thing and God should forgive us. But if we're not sorry, God won't forgive us. If we're not actually repentant, realizing we've done a bad thing, God can't forgive us. Because he's a God of justice as well, isn't he? He's a God of right and wrong. I want to just remind us in a moment of some promises that God has made. But I wanted to show you something just as an illustration of God's promise. Some of you know exactly what this is. Have you got one? Anyone got one? A few people have got one of these. Do you know what it is? It's a bike lock. Yeah. It's a very strong bike lock. At least that's what I was always told. And it's really secure. Let me just show you. It's not coming apart. It's a really strong padlock. And you might notice we've got this picture of a padlock behind. We're just using it as an illustration today of how safe and secure God's promises are. This is not going to come apart. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to be very easy to saw through. It's really safe and secure. Our God's promises are safe and secure. And Harry, if you'd like, I've got quite a lot of keys over here later. You could perhaps try and see if you've got any keys that would get through it. But anyway, what wonderful picture, though, of God's safety, security, reliability, dependability. God doesn't wriggle out of his promises. You might even have the sign of a padlock on your phone or on your computer, perhaps, which just reminds you, there's a little padlock that reminds you that something's locked in. Now, around the room, there are some promises. I think there are 4. So I wonder if you're quite near one and you can see one. Would you just go and fetch it and bring it up to me? Can you see a promise lurking around on the walls? Neil's found one. Thank you, Neil. What promise have we got there? God provides for my needs. Thank you. God provides for my needs. Hoping it might stay up there. Anyone found another one? Thank you, Henry. God's love lasts forever. Thank you. And what else have we got? God never leaves me. And finally, thank you, Martin. God has a plan for me. Thank you. That's a good one. Well, those are wonderful promises. We want to hold on to them, don't we? I wonder what other promises have been important to you. And I just wanted to give you a bit of time. Maybe reach forward and grab a Bible, if you can see one, and just have a bit of a flick through, perhaps, or try and find one that you're thinking of. What promises have been important for you? Could you have a look? And then we thought it might be good if you tell somebody nearby, what special promises do you hold on to? Is there one that you hold on to? Some of you know I quite often talk about Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will He will, I've lost the word, and he will direct your paths. He will direct your paths. That's a promise I love to hear. It's that one that Martin brought up, isn't it? God has a plan for me. He will direct your paths. But there's a bit of a condition there, isn't there? That I have to trust him. I have to not just do it all my own way. I have to not rely on my own understanding. So, what about you? Have you found a promise? Can you remember a promise that you really love or find helpful? It's been your strength in the past? I'm just going to give you a little bit of time to talk to a friend, somebody who looks nice next to you, who looks kind of friendly, and just tell them what you think about that. Ready, steady, go.